All of those things you just mentioned are going to impact political fate here when it's all said and done. But the one thing that's not on your list, and should be on the top of your list, is I think we're looking at a change election. This is where those that are running against the system, against the establishment, I think are going to fare better than normal in this environment. We're looking at inflation continuing to drive northward. We've got a terrible, war on our hands that we're trying to be supportive of, both in the Middle East and in Ukraine. Um, we've got joblessness in certain pockets of the country that are up. We have some tremors in the market, the banking system. So there's a lot that's concerning people. But you know what this reminds me of? And I'm going to say this, and it's probably not right for me to say this. It's more right for you to respond to this. This reminds me in its core of what probably would had happened during Brexit. I really buy the takeaway that Brexit was a reaction by the public to want to take more control of their lives. I think they felt things were somewhat out of control, and I think that's happening a lot in America. Crime in America cities is way up. Homelessness is at epidemic levels. The southern border, 2 million people illegally crossed the southern border in the last calendar year, 200,000 in just the last month. I think people in America are looking for someone who will give them some measure of control over tomorrow, as opposed to what they're feeling right now, which is a loss of control. And so I think underneath it all these other issues you talked about, absolutely top of mind. But the biggest issue is going to be whether or not this truly is an election, which is a referendum on the system. As for a referendum on the system, that's where the former president, Donald Trump, I think, fares well, because he is, even having served in the White House for 4 years, he certainly is perceived to be an outsider still. And I think the outsiders might have their way by the time we hit the final finish line in November.